I know you gonna dig this. Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I am in Marietta, Georgia. This is sort of bizarre. I've been to this cemetery before, and I've covered the case of JonBenet Ramsey maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. St. James Episcopal Cemetery is what the sign says, and literally this is Polk Avenue, and then it's Whitlock. I was on my way yesterday to do a video about someone else, and in a cemetery not too far from here. And instead of taking Whitlock on the way back, because it was so there's construction and it was construction, so it was gridlock on Whitlock. What I did was I drove up one street to Polk, just kind of figured it out myself. And I was driving along, and I passed these gates, and I looked to my right, and I said, "Oh wow, that's where JonBenet Ramsey is buried." Atlanta is huge. Atlanta and its suburbs, surrounding suburbs, it's sprawling. It's massive. So it was, to me, I recognized it, and then I was driving by such a small cemetery. Unbelievable. So yesterday was pouring rain, storming, so I couldn't get the video done, that I was doing about someone else. Drove back, came the same way, and I decided I wanted to stop again, visit JonBenet Ramsey, and talk about new developments in her case, and visit her grave and her half-sister and her mother, and just kind of do an update, I guess, because there's new developments happening. And this is an ongoing cold case. JonBenet, if you don't know, she was 6 years old, murdered at her home in Boulder, Colorado, 1996. Her body was found December 26. She was declared dead on, I believe her official date is, I think we'll check on the grave, December 25th, Christmas Day. But she was found on the morning of the 26th. I think everybody knows a little bit about this case. I'm not going to get too much into it, about suspects and how it happened and things like that. We're going to visit JonBenet, talk about the new developments in the case. And we often forget, I think, because the crime became so huge. It's one of the biggest crimes of all time, and it gets away from us a little bit, I think. And occasionally we got to reel it back in and remember this is a 6-year-old girl, and there's, as much as out there in popular culture and true crime and things like that, this is a 6-year-old girl who was murdered, and it's tragic. It's horrible. No matter what you think of the family, no matter what you think of and your ideas or theories, you always have to remember about the victim, and this victim is an innocent 6-year-old girl. And from what I remember, she's buried right over here. Let's go over and visit JonBenet. find JonBenet's grave. Once you get to the cemetery, there's, from what I remember, there's only that one entrance off of Polk. Go straight down to the end. Look for that tree. That's how I remembered it. And I do remember that it's a tiny cemetery if you look around. I was here and I met somebody who worked for the church, and we walked around a bit. That was, I don't remember how many years ago that was. 2 or 3 years. Very nice gentleman. Talked a bit about the family and about the church itself and the cemetery here. Yeah, so it's strange being back. Before I talk about the developments of the case, I'm gonna I forgot that actually I do have my car. One moment. I forgot that her parents are here. 1, 2, 3. I don't have as many rocks as I thought, but this is JonBenet's grandparents, Nidra and Donald, parents of Patricia, Pamela, and Paulette. And JonBenet's mother is right here. She passed in 2006. It reads, "Grace, love, and faithfulness through all." Over here is JonBenet's half-sister. She was from her father's first marriage, I believe. She died in a car accident. Very tragic. He lost 2 daughters. Elizabeth Ramsey, Beth, they called her. Beloved daughter, beautiful sister, loyal friend, gone before us in life's journey, now guide us to our eternal reunion. And then here, JonBenet Ramsey. So they have December 25th as her death date. 6 years old. Love, purity, and joy, a gift to her family and the world, home in the peace of God. Strange noise coming out there. Tree was all decorated when I was here. I think I was here around Christmas time. That seems familiar with the Christmas decorations hanging from this tree. And you can see they all have purple hearts that say XOXO on them. There's one there on Elizabeth, Beth's grave, JonBenet's grave. And her mother has some angel wings here. And XO. There isn't one here for parents, I'm not sure why. But a gentleman who confessed to killing JonBenet, but nobody's taking him seriously. Gary Olive, I believe his name, something like that. He was recently let out of prison, served 8 years of a 10-year sentence, and wrote all sorts of graphic stuff about JonBenet, and apparently confessed a few days after, a few hours, and to a friend, and the friend reported to the Boulder police and never followed up. He's out. I don't know. It seems like he's very, very not with it. It's hard to know whether to take his claims seriously, but I'm assuming that police will follow up. So there's things going on with him. But, I mean, there's been a lot of people confessing. Not a lot, but it's a weird thing people do when they confess to crimes they did not commit. It's a way to get themselves notoriety, get themselves into the media. Their mental health is obviously not all there because they possibly think they did it. There's a million reasons why. But in December of 2023, so just a few months ago, Boulder police assigned a special cold case team and to investigate the death of JonBenet with new evidence. And they recently released new information. And 2 of the things that they said were pretty odd. Like 30 years afterwards, they released this information. One of the things was that a stun gun may have been used. They discovered small markings that were on JonBenet's back and neck that indicated the use of a stun gun. And after all these years, it's bizarre that they've just now discovered those. Strange. Now, another thing, and I think I'd heard about this before, or I don't know if I mentioned last video, but this is something the cold case team released in 2024, this year, that a similar case happened to a girl in JonBenet's neighborhood. 9 months later, a young girl was sexually assaulted by an intruder in her family's home. That intruder jumped off a second-story patio and was never caught. And this girl and JonBenet knew each other. So those are two pretty big developments, I would say. So the cold case team has digitized the extensive case evidence. There's more than 21,000 tips, over 1,000 interviews, and samples from more than 200 different people. Handwriting, DNA, fingerprints, shoe prints. Now, after documenting and analyzing the evidence, the cold case team made investigative recommendations to the Boulder Police Department and the Boulder District Attorney. Those recommendations are not being made public yet. The city of Boulder said that investigators are focusing on DNA testing, which is, of course, rapidly evolving day by day by day. They say they've carefully preserved forensic evidence, so it's ready if there's any new technology. Now I'm going to quote the Boulder Police Chief. He said, "We will continue to pursue all leads and explore technology advancements to identify JonBenet's killer. I also commit to providing the community and family with investigative updates as new evidence emerges." So here we are, the grave of JonBenet Ramsey, Marietta, Georgia. Alright, that was my visit back to JonBenet Ramsey and her family. Rest in peace to all of them. There's 5 people here in this plot, and I think that was it. Let me just double check, right? I'm having thoughts of that last time. I may have... No, I believe that is it. This is the family plot here. This is the Smith family over here. Rest in peace to them as well. It's one of the smaller cemeteries. It's a off day here in the Atlanta area. Cold, gray. It's usually, hot Atlanta. Every time I've been here to her grave, it's never been as it's always been drab and dreary. Let's hope that one day this case is solved. Thank you for watching, everybody. Rest in peace to JonBenet and her family here. Her mother, Patricia, her grandparents, her half-sister, Beth. Thank you for watching, everybody. Peace out. I realized that the grave to my left may have been caught on camera right here while I was filming. Little boy named Robbie. Just a year old. Year and a couple of weeks, it looks like. And I looked up to see if he's any relation to the Ramsey family. Doesn't seem to be. He's kind of off to the side here. It's a beautiful little spot for him. And some nice things beside. And other people, I don't know if those are rocks left at the bench or not. Oh, there's somebody related to him right here. Looks like it would be his grandmother. So this, same last name. So I think that might be his grandmother right there. But little Robbie, rest in peace. Heartbreaking to see. And he's not forgotten by his family, friends, and us. Rest in peace, little guy.